back to the channel. We are inside the garage, unfortunately, because the whole social distancing thing. But I've been getting a lot of questions here recently about, what's my bass fishing setup on my Bonafide Expedition 123. So that's what today's video is about. I'm going to walk you through my current bass fishing setup. Now, I recently did a video of my crappie panfish setup. For trolling or any type of crappie fishing, whether it be jigging, stuff like that. So I'll put that link in the description below. But this one's specifically for my bass fishing. Now, a couple things change between the waters. If I'm going on a big lake, then I'm taking my, fish finder. I'm taking a little extra gear. If I'm floating a creek with rapids and it gets pretty shallow, I'm not taking my fish finder because it's pretty obvious when you see a hole. And I'm not taking as much fishing gear. I'm not taking 5 poles per se. Might be taking 2 or maybe 3 max. So the only thing that really changes besides my baits would be how many poles I bring or if I'm hooking up my fish finder or not. So let's go ahead and walk you through the setup. All right, first things first, you may have noticed the huge monitor. Yes, if you follow my YouTube community part of my channel, you probably saw a recent picture post that I took back the hook reveal 5-inch and I got the 7-inch hook 2 triple shot. Yes, that is a side scan transducer. This is my 7-inch monitor. Right back here I have the Scotty mounts. I went with Scotty. It was like $10 cheaper than Ram mount, and it's the same concept. So this all came with it, but unfortunately the Gear Track Ram ball did not come with the mount from Bass Pro itself. I actually had this already. This is an 1.5 inch ball that's locked down to this Gear Track. It came with one that you can screw down into your boat, and I didn't want to go that route, obviously, because I like to remove everything, especially when I'm going on some rapids and stuff like that. So anyways, that's how I have it hooked up. Now, if you notice, let me move my net out of the way. That is pretty clean. You see 2 wires, one running to the transducer and one going from my dashboard into the back of this unit. And you're like, well, where's all the extras? Right there. All right. So underneath my Bonafide Expedition little mat here, it's where I stow the excess cord that I don't need, where I'm not going to snag on it, etc. So anyways, that's where all the excess transducer cabling is. So let's go to the transducer. All right, the transducer's right here. I like to stow it on my right side. No reason why, it's just I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to flip it easier on this side versus the left side. So if I am putting my kayak in the water, I'm at the boat ramp, it's concrete, and I don't want to scuff that because it's going to hang below my boat. This is how I stow it. Here's a roto grip. And so that's how I stow it. Now let's say I get out in the water, it's a couple feet deep now, I'm paddled out from the boat ramp. All I gotta do, I keep this semi-loose where it's still snug enough where it's not gonna fall off, but loose enough where I can articulate it easily. I'll lift up my transducer arm out, I'll swing it, this whole thing pivots, I'll let it fall to the side, and all I have to do is turn this bolt and tighten this top right here, and it is locked in place. Pretty sweet. Now, if I'm going into some rough areas, I'm about to run over some shallow trees or brush pile, then all I have to do is do the opposite. I lift out, and then I pivot that, and I put it right back into that roto grip. So, roto grips are great for paddles, for nets, for parking poles, but also for stowing away your transducer arm. Pretty awesome. So, if you look at my dashboard from the factory came with 3 of these well nuts. I think they're called well nuts. What I did on this side and that side, I removed those and got the threaded bolts and threaded this roto grip directly to the dashboard now. So I have 2 of those. When my fish finder is not installed, I'll use this side or the opposite side to stow like my paddle or parking pole, stuff like that. And the other side would be for my net. So if I'm going in a rough area where everything's shaking, wiggling, and might bounce out, this will hold my net in place, and I can easily grab it where it's not going to slide forward or come back in my lap. So that's how I park my nets. Now right here on this gear track, and this one through the net, they're all 6 inches. Someone just asked me, he installed a 9-inch, and should he do the same thing on the opposite side? I said, absolutely. If you can fit it, go with it. Because some of these mounts, like my camera boom mount, it won't fit in a 6-inch. You need like a 9-inch because it takes up that much space. I'll show you here shortly. And so if you can get by with going for a longer gear track, go with it, because you're going to be able to fit a lot more stuff on there and have a lot more options. So when I originally put these on, I got the idea from someone else, and I was like, man, I wish I would have put 9-inch ones there, because they would have fit easily. That's how much space I have on this side, and I have a little bit of space there, which would easily fit 9-inch. But anyways, it's working out. I don't want to take them out and put new ones in, because I'm going to have holes and they're going to match up well. But on this gear track right here, usually I have my front camera. That's usually where I keep my front camera at, where you can get those face shots of me reeling in, or you know, holding the fish up and letting you see it from that view. I do have a gear track on this side and the opposite side. Eventually I might add another one here, but these are pretty sufficient at the moment. So you know, my crappie setup, I'll switch, you know, I'll put a rod holder here and on the opposite side, especially if I'm trolling, okay? But these are 9-inch gear tracks, and they're orange, obviously. All right, right here, I do have a pad eye installed. You have another spot on the opposite side on this kayak to do another one. But on this side, I have like a donkey leash. If I'm trout fishing, for example, I might tie on a stringer here and kind of lay the fish off to the side of the boat. So the pad eye is great. It's a great place for one. It's real close and easy to reach. Most of the time, I'm carrying 2 to 3 rods when I'm fishing like fast current, fast water. 2 rods, most of the time 3 if I feel like they're going to hit some top water. But most of the time I'll carry 2 to 3 rods. But the way I have this set up, I can carry 5 max. Obviously I'll have a pole in my lap. Then I have 2 flush mount holders on each side. Then I have 2 rod holders off my kayak crate, and that gives me 4 in the back and 1 in my lap, so that's 5 total. But I rarely take that many. If they're not biting the 3 rods I do take, then I just need to get off the water. It's not going to be a good day. So anyways, before we get to the kayak crate, I do want to show you the back of my seat. I do have this, this came from my old kayak. This is a Wilderness System 4-pocket pouch thing. I keep my fish scale in here where I can easily just reach behind me and grab it. I have some fish grips just in case I catch something with gnarly teeth. Right here, here's what I was trying to tell you earlier. This is my Scotty mount, camera boom. And right here, see how this is a 12-inch gear track by Kayak. And this takes up pretty much the whole space. I would not be able to fit that up there on a 6-inch at all. So some of these camera boom mounts are really, really big, okay? This one's not, dog bone is not so much, but when you're, you know, hitting some rapids, you want your camera boom to be pretty stiff and rigid. You don't want it to wiggle a lot. That's why these heavy duty mounts are great, but unfortunately it takes up a lot of gear track. So keep that in mind, especially what camera booms you're looking at to purchase. So here's my DIY camera boom. I have a video on this back in the day if you want to pull that up and see what I did. But right behind it, this cable runs to this waterproof pouch, and I have my all-day battery supply in here. And I just roll it up, keep it splash proof, and I'll buckle it to these bungees. The reason I'll buckle it to the bungees is because A, it keeps this out of the water, not sitting down in my kayak or, you know, just holding water. But also, it keeps my bungees pinched together where this is not going to slip off and I might, you know, derail my kayak crate. So it's a twofer special. All right, on this side, I did install a gear track. This is a Kayak HD gear track with the backing plates. Gives it more stability. It's a locking one. And, you know, I can run my parking pole in shallow water, or I can run my anchor off of it and articulate the anchor line up the front or middle or back etc. So I love having an anchor trolley system. I might not use it, but 60% of the time, but when I need it, it's good to have for sure. So here's my other gear track. On this gear track, I have this little, I call them clam cleats. That's probably not the technical name for it, but it's by Yak Attack, and just attached to your gear track. And you know, I'll tie off my rope and hold it in place, stuff like that. Let me show you inside of this. Here's my battery. That's one of those Naqua lithium batteries. But right here, I notched it where it can go through here and not crimp it, and it cleaned it up really, really nice. But as you notice, I still have room. I can put my car keys in there. I got my sunglass case right there. I can put my wallet in there. So I still have quite a few options to put some things in there and keep it out of the way. All right, moving on back. Here's another flush mount holder. That's factory. Here's my new paddle. If you watched my recent kayak trip, I broke my bending branch paddle, so I went ahead and upgraded. This is super light. It's like maybe 12 ounce lighter than my bending branch. It's like I'm holding nothing. It's amazing. And it's a little bit more stiffer and rugged. And it also goes from a 240 to a 260, so pretty amazing. Just unlocking this and pulling it out. So I haven't had it in the water yet, but just the feel of it is pretty amazing. All right, so moving on back. I did install a 9-inch gear track. I was rocking my Visi Carbon Pro in one of my rod holders, but unfortunately that takes up a rod space. So I was like, well, I need to mount the gear track here. That way I can install this, or maybe eventually move that back here, or a camera boom, something like that, to give me some options. I'll eventually add another one here, to balance it out. But also I could, for example, run some rod tubes and even have more pole options if I wanted to remove that crate, or just to have extra poles for a kayak tournament, stuff like that. I believe that's everything installed on my kayak. Let me walk you through my crate real quick. I'm really trying to cut down on how much tackle I bring. Main reason is I hit a lot of rough waters. I'm afraid if I tip, I'm gonna lose everything. Everything at my house, plus what I'm on the water with. So I'm like, well, I don't want to bring all of my poles for that reason. I don't want to bring all my tackle. I want some left home just in case. So now I'm just bringing like one 3700 full of my hard baits. And there's a lot of good options I can put in there. And I really don't need much more than that. Now, obviously there's no plastics in there. And what I've been doing with my plastics is either bringing this little pouch here. This is kind of my creek fishing pouch. It's got some Nikos in there, some TRDs, stuff like that. But if I don't take that pouch, and I'm hitting a big lake, then I'll just grab my money bag full of my lake fishing gear. So anyways, so that's all the plastics I take. I either take a money bag on the big lake full of plastics, or I'll take this little dinky bag for my little creek adventures. And that's all the plastics I take. If they don't fit in there, I don't bring it. In this 3600 box, I have my GoPro batteries. I have some, Zeiss wipes. I have some waterproofing stuff in here, extra SD card, stuff like that, just for backups. Also, I'll bring my headlamp. I got stranded one day without a headlamp in a dark, rapid area. Never again. So I pack a waterproof flashlight. Y'all noticed in my most recent video that I had to cut a hook out of my hand, so I'm always packing some first aid. I got my little gator. I got some fishing gloves. And y'all know I'm a ginger, so I gotta get that ginger-proof sun spray by the Dollar General. All right, so that's usually what I'm packing in my kayak crate. Now, I don't know exactly the weight of this boat with all this stuff in here, but I personally weigh 235 pounds, and with all this stuff in here, I still float just fine. So anyways, I know it's rated. I forgot how much this boat's rated, but it's rated for a lot of pounds, and so I may max it out, but I'm fishing efficiently, and I got some safety gear with me as well. Well, this is my personal setup. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough today. I sure enjoy kayak fishing or kayaking in general. And anytime I can talk or show my boat off, I'm super excited about. So thank you for leaving those questions in my comments on my previous adventures. And hopefully this addressed exactly what I pack. and what I take on my bass fishing adventures. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you on the next adventure.